Hello, I'm David Knox. Welcome to another short video tip to help you in your business. Now, this is a distilled version of the in-depth video from our online training, Real Estate Training by davidknox.com, which contains about 600 videos, 800 or 900 downloadable support materials, and I want to give you a quick taste of this topic. And today's topic is, how do we list without a place to buy? How many of you try to get a listing, the sellers want to move, they know their home can sell, but they go, how are we going to find a place to buy? What I want to do in this video is to give you a method that you can present to sellers so maybe they'll make the double move. So let's talk about the conversation you'll have with the seller. Well, the very first conversation is, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, do you want to buy first or do you want to sell first? They say, well, we want to do them at the same time. Yeah, good luck with that. No, one of these has to happen first, pretty much in any market. And analyze them. If you buy first, what happens? You're going to end up owning two homes. How do you feel about that? Well, we kind of feel more comfortable about that. Well, can you afford two payments, two sets of maintenance, two homes? Could you even qualify for that? Would you really want to put yourself in that financial burden? They go, well, I don't think we like the idea of owning two. Well, then the option is to sell first. Well, if we do that, we're going to end up owning zero. We'll have no place to live. What are we going to do? Well, that's the question. What's better, owning two or owning zero? Well, let's talk about owning two. When you're owning two, it is financially painful. The lender might not even allow you to do it. It's stressful. Now you have to buy another home contingent upon selling this. In the market in which we're shooting, that'll never be accepted. And it puts you in a weak negotiating position. What about owning zero? Oh, well, that's horrible. We'd be homeless. Well, not in the pejorative sense, but you'd have your money in hand. You have your buying power. You have financial peace of mind. Your home is sold, done, closed, money in the bank. You have your options open. But we got to find a place to live. How do we do that? Well, that's what this video is about. In a normal market, they list home A and they start searching. And a lot of times this comes together. They close on one, close on the other, they depart A and move into B. Everything is just fine. So we'd love it happens like that. But in this market, not so much. Now what happens is they list sell. In about 2 seconds, as the ink is drying on the listing agreement, the ink is getting wet on the sales agreement. It still takes a while to close, and finally they depart home A. And by the way, the minute that they list their home A, you better start house hunting. If you've ever had a car break down on you, how long does it take for you to start looking for another car? Pretty much immediately. As soon as it breaks down, you're online looking for a place. When the student is ready, the master appears, and I think once they know that their home is going to sell very quickly, they get to work house hunting. So they move out of their home here, and the one they buy, it's going to take them a while to buy. How long is it going to take to find? And that's a conversation you could have. How long do you think it'll take? Well, it'll probably take 5 or 6 months. Okay, we'll use 6 months. And then they've got to wait another month for them to possess it. So it could be anywhere from 5 to 7 months from the time they move out of here, move into here. And that's the gap. That's the fear gap. They don't know what to do. A couple of things. First of all, maybe you could extend the possession date on the home they sell. Buyers today are so eager to get into a home that they might just let you stay. They close here and let you stay for another couple months. It could happen. You don't know. Maybe you move in with neighbor or family and they go, I'm not moving in with family. So now what we need to do is talk about double moves. And instead of worrying about all the fear, what we want to do is remove some of that fear and quantify it. One of my favorite presenter, a guy named Harvey Mackay, says, if you can afford to buy your way out of a problem, you haven't got a problem. So if you can quantify it, if you say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we get the fact that we're talking about having zero homes. Let's see what it would cost to do that. And no number that I'm going to use now is going to match what you would do. So I'll just make something up. Say, so Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're probably going to spend $5,000, moving out of the home you're in. And now you've got to store it. Maybe it's, whatever. You got another $5,000 in storage, however much furniture you have. Now lodging. Maybe you're out of the house for months, and you've got to live in one of those residence types hotels where instead of paying $300 a night, maybe it's less. You come up with a number, and maybe you find out it's going to be $15,000 in expenses to live in a hotel or renting a condo. You figure that out. Then they've got to spend $5,000 to move back in. So what do we have? 10, 25. So we've got $30,000 in double moves. And by the way, one of those moves would have happened anyway. But you can see the point that they've spent $30,000 on the property. or on the double move. And then the question is that good or bad? Well, let's see. How much more did you get on the home you sold? Well, we got 50,000 more for that. Or if it's even 30, it's a break even. And when you put it in those terms, it's like you got to stay in a hotel for a few months. Ooh, you know, how tough is that? Take a look at all the bad stuff that goes on in the world. Moving into a hotel for a while doesn't hurt. Good friend of mine sold his home in Rancho Mirage, rented a place in downtown Palm Springs, and they fell in love with that. They were going to all the Palm Springs restaurants, having a good time. Finally, the new construction was done. They moved in. Then they had the peace of mind, and it worked just fine for them. And the key is the motivation's got to be more than the money. It means I want to move into another home more than I want to save money. So in the end, it's a great way to get more listings. So to all of you broker owners out there, if you want to train your agents with expanded versions of relevant topics like these, go to davidknox.com/training. Or you can click on the link associated with this video, or better yet, give me a call, 952-835-4477. We could set up a live Zoom demonstration of the training, and we can talk about how it might help productivity for you and all of your agents. So make life easier. Invest in your agents today. Thanks very much for watching this video.